All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Avatar: The Last Airbender, Episode 3. Okay, we got Kyoshi.
We got Suki.
We got Suki, and so there's
we got Zhao.
We did. Zhao was fantastic.
And we got Ozai.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I gotta say, I loved the last episode. There was a lot of things where I'm like, okay, that's very different. Mm-hmm. But also, I kind of dig it.
It's the kind of thing where it continually goes like, okay, they cleared that threshold. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they're going to clear the next one necessarily.
Yeah, the next one could be a little rocky.
Yeah. It's gonna be a struggle to see why they stay grounded with this one here.
I maybe this is a hot take, but I think Bumi doesn't actually need to be brought into this show the way it's being done, because he just doesn't fit, and he's not actually that important to the plot, and he's too goofy. Because they're gonna need to redesign the whole thing anyways, because those rings are not happening.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we are headed into territory that I do not believe a live action
should
story.
Tread.
No, I think a live action story making these story decisions should tread.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, this is where we're probably I'm going into this pessimistic, but I have an open mind. But the thing is that Omashu, as a point in the story, has a very big deal that happens with Aang's character with regards to reconciling the past and the 100 years that had been through this here.
Gotcha.
And his character is not set up for that kind of a moment.
No, he's not.
So
I thought you were going to talk about the very important thing in this episode is the introduction of the cabbage merchant.
Ah, right.
Because that's, I mean,
if you don't have that, this is a 0 out of 10.
Yeah, that show. What
0 out of 10
is
adaptation.
even the point?
What is the point? Right. Mm-hmm. I have the scream so embedded in my deep core memory that I can recreate it perfectly at will.
It's something where, and yet the way in which the cabbage thing happens, they're not going to do a bunch of sliding around in the delivery system.
No, I could see that happening.
Maybe, but probably not.
I could see Aang doing that. It's more the whole thing of the, well, then Bumi be like, it's whatever, that's fine. And then it's the, let us leave,
right.
Or will he be the, how could you?
Right.
You're the Avatar, and you're not taking responsibility,
I'm excited for the fight. I'm not excited for Bumi, because the earthbending so far
looked real good in episode 1.
Real good in episode 1. So, and that was, the Bumi fight is one of those ones where when I go back and watch the original show, it's always the greatest earthbender in the world, the stuff that we see later, and then the stuff that Bumi does. I feel like they don't quite, one of these things is not like the others.
Sure, I still think Bumi is the most powerful earthbender, specifically for one move that he does.
The falling back.
Falling backwards, and he... No earthbender ever does anything related to that ever again.
Finesse.
But every single person knows that if you were to have an earthbender fight, they win immediately if you're on the ground. Because you know how they win?
Especially if you're tough. They just go
especially
underground.
If they're tough. They just go underground.
And then bring you down there with them.
And they just bring you down there with them. It's over.
It's done. If Toph had gone to fight
Not
Azula.
with them 5 feet or 2 feet next to them. They just go... And then you're done.
Crush.
You're done.
Right?
You're crushed.
Azula would have just fled the Fire Nation capital and been terrified to touch down on ground again. Right?
Traumatized.
Yeah. Just.
Can you imagine firebending the ground beneath you because you're so terrified?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. But without further ado, let's get into this. Fire Nation.
I do love every time that just sound plays.
We strike tonight. Shouldn't we wait? We don't have the numbers.
Wait, is this gonna be Bumi backstory?
I want you to meet someone willing to risk everything for our cause. Like all of us. She has lost too much.
What if they worked Omashu in with imprisoned?
She works at the palace. She's willing to help us. At great personal risk. If she gives her courage. So much.
I don't buy this.
Yeah.
Fire Lord Ozai must die tonight.
Nah, I feel like this is a way to root out people and stuff, and I think that's Azula.
Oh, that'd be fun.
decent Fire Nation citizens would have welcomed being freed from your tyranny.
Tyranny? Don't you mean unity? Have I not led us to the brink of bringing the entire world under one rule? Our rule.
Would take another century of loss and suffering.
Century of war, yeah.
Do not speak to me of loss.
Oh, is he playing the, like, I lost my wife?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
We in the Fire Nation have always prided ourselves on our resourcefulness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Azula?
Yeah, yeah.
It's also a fun like setup to for when she infiltrates or pretends to be a Kyoshi warrior.
Right, right. She's good at that.
Yeah.
But there is one out there who cannot be stopped. The one who will restore balance to the world. The one who has returned to us.
Just.
Okay.
What's this?
A message from one of my commanders in the Southern Seas. No one of any importance. Your brother has done the impossible.
Oh, nice.
Just as I'd asked.
Wow. I take credit for that.
But also like, so now you need to, you know, you've always been better than him, so you need to make sure that you know.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Just a little sprinkle of Fire Nation.
Yeah.
Just a little
and
sprinkle.
also a way to sort of like backpedal off of the and nobody died in this fight, you know, that we had in the last episode.
I mean, yeah, of course. Omashu.
Hey.
Omashu.
All right. Do we
Sounds
also
like
get...
you're headed to Omashu.
Basic bending forms are mostly just physical movement. But when you get into the harder moves, like the water whip, you really need to reach inside and feel the energy flow.
How does he know the water whip?
Well, no, he's basically comparing it to another.
Sure.
They're doing the.
The monks always said I never listened. I think that's what they said. I never listened.
The dialogue is kind of awkward.
Yeah, but I liked the awkwardness there because it felt like it's Aang really trying to like be intentional about it and it doesn't work, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than necessarily a writing thing, even though that also is kind of there.
Look!
What is it, Fire Nation?
No! I think it's another airbender.
Oh, okay.
Cool, yeah.
Gotcha.
So it is going to be the mechanists and stuff.
Yeah.
He'll need to stop for food and water. Well, he may be the Avatar, but he still needs to eat and drink.
Yes, tea.
If he gets too far north,
There are Fire Nation forces everywhere. They're sure to find out.
which is why I suggest you allow me to contact a few trusted sources.
And that would at least help with like finding out where the Avatar is. Just let them know there's some rogue benders.
I spoke to some of his crew. Word is, Zhao failed his officer training program 3 times.
Did I ask for your opinion?
Whoa. He's on
He's
your
trying to
side.
help.
My apologies.
But I like this. This is also setting up because he's going to be the one that Zuko saves in the storm.
Right, exactly, yeah.
He was gossiping about a superior officer.
An officer you don't like?
That's not the point. There is an order to the way we do things here. Rules, especially out here.
Well.
Omashu was carved out.
His Zuko is so good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this looks like a place the Fire Nation would have trouble getting to. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I tell you before?
Are we getting Pippin Paddleopsicopolis? Ah! Wait.
Yes!
And you again.
Sorry. That at the turnip sack. I'm sure you can make that look good too.
Unless this is actually the cabbage merchant.
No way. It's the cabbage merchant.
They're fusing Jet and the cabbage merchant.
So how do you know we're not a threat?
Just a feeling.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rizzler here. Yeah.
I gotta say, I really love Sokka in this show.
Yeah.
Move along.
Okay.
And then Aang, they just full on kept, like...
See, they were drawing so much attention, the three of them,
Yeah.
you know?
And they're like, we don't want to hold up the line.
Yeah,
get in
exactly.
here. Yeah. I mean, this is why you get that Netflix budget, is you can make Omashu look real good. Come on. Just casual My Cabbages.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to, you know, have a moment where
Right.
things run amok a bit, yeah.
And be careful. Omashu can be a dangerous place.
Yeah, that's Jet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely Jet.
100%.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, though, but...
Doesn't have to be, but it fits, because they set up the idea of, like, the freedom fighters and things like that, and... Oh.
Hey, watch out for my hill.
Ah! He
wasn't
almost
even
said
allowed
the
to say the line.
He almost said the line!
You're not an airbender.
An airbender? Of course I'm not.
Jeez. I guess that's the mechanist, then.
Yeah, That's a bit big of an explosion for just, like, a funky joke.
And you're a waterbender.
Oh, it is!
Okay.
Ahmed!
I just landed. How was I supposed to know there'd be another bombing?
Bombing? You mean that wasn't an accident?
Nothing the Fire Nation does is an accident.
The Fire Nation?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
guys are everywhere in the city.
Totally.
That was green fire, my guy. So many different things are being mixed together in this episode that I'm like...
That's the mechanist to the king of Omashu.
Mechanist?
Ah, just a fancy word for someone who wastes a lot of time tinkering.
Don't listen to him. He's responsible for maintaining the best parts of the city.
Yeah, the kids' lines are pretty clunky, but I like the mechanist acting.
Yeah.
Did you see the mechanism on that sorting machine? It's spring-powered, ingenious. I should have done that with our kayak racks back home.
Oh, shit. No, maybe it was the Fire Nation.
Okay.
This place used to be incredible. A place I couldn't wait to see. A place where amazing things were created.
I mean, it still is. It just also is under attack.
He's done the impossible. He's done nothing. He spent 3 years on an ocean cruise
Nice.
while I've been here doing everything Father has asked. Oh, that's right. Tell us about your mission. Nervous? Was your life really in danger? Not really. People in the resistance.
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, all dear old Zuzu wants is to make it back here and take away everything I've worked for. Technically, he is first in line to be Fire Lord.
Oh, my...
Yeah. I like that that's being, like, explicitly, like, covered, you know? Of, like... Azula very much benefits from, you know, Zuko being banished.
My mother told me stories of the Avatar and how he'd return one day. Dad, do you remember her stories?
What I remember is that your mother was taken from us by this cursed war. And I remember everything we've had to do to stay alive since then. We worked hard and we kept our heads...
A lot of exposition.
I know, holy
God
shit.
damn.
All I want is to help.
I know how.
You know...
I have a hunch about where the bombers might be gathering. It's high up on the mountain. The strongest stuff drops are in the morning, so we should fly then.
Well, tomorrow? No, Teo, you're supposed to help me with the air...
Yeah. Good. They are setting up the stuff with Teo, though.
Yeah.
And, sorry, Sai, specifically.
Uh-huh.
With the, like, Father, what are you doing, you know?
Yeah.
I'll send 2 of my best men to confirm the report. They can be in and out before...
No.
Send me.
Uncle Lyra and I will go. No one else.
Okay. Cool. Bringing Zuko into the fold of the conflict of the episode.
The prince and I will be fine. We know what it means to be on our own.
Showing some solidarity
Yeah.
with Zuko, yes. Although we are in very, like, awkward, uncharted waters here.
Yes, very much so. Like, with the bombing thing, I like that. That could have been a way to be like, hey, you're the Avatar, maybe go to the person who is in charge of the city, you know?
I think we're saving Boomy because he's not actually friends with Boomy in this.
Sure.
What are you...
Oh, shit.
Oh.
The mechanist is a...
Traitor.
Oh, fun.
All right, we're combining a bunch of things into Omashu.
Yeah. Well, this is where the it'll be like Game of Thrones, I guess, comes in, because they're changing so many things.
Yeah. He's even got
Yeah. All right.
He's got the same costume. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Wait. Who are you?
Name's Jet.
You call me Jet.
Yeah. There's too many like the idea of a lot of this stuff. I'm like, okay, this could be cool, but like, I don't know. There's elements where it feels like they're trying too hard, and yet they're not trying hard in the ways that I would hope they would.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, he's like riding the air current that Aang is creating, I guess, but...
Yeah, it doesn't really...
The suit was so clumsy, I wasn't sure you'd ever catch it.
Okay, I was gonna mention that too, because they were like 15 feet away.
Good thing I brought friends then.
Ah, yes. All the cheesy lines. Let's go. And the way Katara was surprised, like, wait, is he actually gonna fight and maybe use weapons?
Nice!
Would have really loved to see some blood.
Yeah, his fighting is really clumsy.
I can't.
Oh! You thought you were the only one with friends?
I brought friends.
Yes, okay!
I am not left-handed either. Like, why were they there the entire time?
Oh, shit!
Okay.
Yes!
Oh! Okay, I feel like there should really be blood there, but okay. Wait, that was just cutting his clothes? That wasn't actually cutting him at all? They were just choosing to censor the blood?
Nice moves. I had a feeling you knew how to handle yourself.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Who are you people?
We're the good guys.
I mean, I like Jet's acting though.
Oh no,
He's
yeah,
fun.
Jet, I like Jet. And I like the fact that they're bringing the whole squad in. Like, it's fun. Oh, they didn't upgrade it to a cigarette?
Shut up.
Very clever. Your father must be proud of you.
Yeah.
Dad doesn't really pay attention to stuff like this.
Okay, all right.
It's not always easy to find your path in life, but when you find it,
Okay.
you must embrace it.
All right. Let's go meet
The Lost Boys.
the Lost Boys.
mean,
Yep.
So is it gonna be that they're the ones doing the bombings, and it's because they can tell?
No. Because they just literally went and hunted down the people and stuff.
Well,
Omashu isn't what it used to be. In the old days,
Oh,
the
maybe
city
you're
was
right.
strong.
yeah, because if the Mechanist is helping the Fire Nation,
He lost his nerve.
this is how they're going after the traitors. Okay. Yeah.
That's why they didn't kill the people.
Right.
Sure.
What are we now, Smeller B?
Freedom fighters!
Okay, so
It could all come together.
yeah, there's I have words.
If you mix tinkar with salt water and then boil it down, you get this. Blasting jelly. Few
Yeah,
doses will knock
nice.
The neighborhood sky high.
The firebenders weren't behind the explosion.
My dad had me in a well. I wanted to fight, but he wouldn't let me. When I came back up, they're all gone.
See, I like this delivery. The way Katara's acting here, it almost seems like
I know what
she's
it's like to lose family too.
yeah, like she was struggling to actually like remember it, which I like as a
Quiet.
as an adjustment, you know?
And my mom died. I try not to think about it, but recently it's been coming back to me.
Yeah, she was a lot younger.
Right.
That you have to use everything.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Thank you for not making it exactly the same as the other line.
Right.
Oh,
This is a
cool.
very
So is he
Jet-
actually nice? Okay.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Yeah.
She'd stop when the sun rose. She would watch it and smile.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this will help her with her bending. Yeah. Okay. And so their connection really is meaningful. It has like a real impact on like the story and like the things that have been happening.
We don't have to be afraid of our pain. We just need to decide what we're gonna do with it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Nice.
And this is good to get in the episode where it starts with Ozai melting a whole group of people.
Right.
But a lot of the other sort of silliness and campiness that's been in the episode doesn't really fit with that.
Well, it's just, yeah, they're trying to shove so much in one episode.
Uh-huh.
It's not often you get the opportunity.
This is the great Omashu? The best the Earth Kingdom has to offer?
Getting this before season.
Ooh.
Ah.
There.
Given how long this war has lasted, who knows where true north lies in the Fire Nation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Even Iroh's like, yeah.
In return, I will keep in mind your loyalty and cooperation when the time comes for such debts to be paid. A time that may arrive sooner than expected.
Nice.
Well done.
Eternal Princess Azula.
Cool.
Now Zhao's like, oh, this is good. This is good.
Yeah. I can work with this.
I got royalty.
Uh-huh.
Hey, check this out.
Where's Katara?
Lasting joy.
That's not all. We also found these. The ropes from the turnip cart. What?
No, Jet's not the bad guy. Sai is.
Are you kidding me? Sai has done nothing but help us. Well, Jet's a con artist who lied to our faces.
He didn't lie.
You didn't tell the truth.
Nice.
You're wrong.
This is just like you, Katara. Willing to believe anything, as long as it helps you.
This is just like you. Never believing anything I say. I'm so sick of you treating me like I'm a little girl.
Then grow up.
Shit.
Hey, cabbages!
Would you like to try one of
Not right now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And thus, Zutara was reborn in another iteration of the show.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm so clumsy. Are you hurt?
No. No harm done. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
You're going to blow him up?
Not just him. He's got an audience with the king.
This is our chance to burn out this city's diseased heart.
Innocent people are gonna die, Jet.
This is war.
That's the price of freedom.
Shut up and gloat later. Right now, we need to stop Sai. Jet planted a bomb on him.
What's the fastest way to the palace?
It's at the highest point in the city.
Ah. Oh.
But hi.
And then they have to use the shipping system to, like, for the fight.
This is my fight.
Okay.
All right. I like it.
Keep your firebending in check.
Now, I'll just say, this was an opportunity for maybe him to, like, have some swords or something.
He would have not been able to smuggle them in.
Yeah.
Watch out, excuse me.
Okay. Aang, you have Airbender. What
Yeah,
are you doing?
Okay.
He's messing with him.
All right, now mess up the cabbages.
I'm sorry. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So fucking funny. Wait.
What?
What is this slow motion? They're really overusing the slow-mo.
Yeah, and just, I'm not sure why that happened.
How do you know it's been 3 years?
Yeah.
Unless...
You have my notebook.
Hey! And the look of anger.
Yeah.
Like,
Water whip.
yep, you gotta get the... What, she's gonna fail? And then they're gonna be like, it's a bomb, and Moon's just gonna be like, huh? Pull it into the ground. I feel like this would almost be more impactful if it wasn't slow motion.
Protect the king. We must leave now.
Yeah. You're kind of easy to identify. People say there was a guy with a scar over his
exactly.
his left
well,
eye.
also that hairstyle is Fire Nation hairstyle.
Right.
For the Fire Nation!
Oh shit! Oh, what a bro, Iroh!
Okay. Huh.
I like this. I mean, that's fun.
Wait, they're gonna give us Zuko alone in season 1.
No, Jacob, come on. Whoa. You're not going anywhere.
Wait, that... Oh, boy. Oh.
They're doing a double episode.
I mean, they did cram like 3 or 4 episodes into this one.
Right. That's true.
But okay.
All right.
Okay.
The first episode where they hardcore deviated from the story. And what do you know? It's also the slowest episode, the most filled with clunky exposition. It also has a part 2, apparently, that we'll be watching in the next episode.
Yeah.
I
have a lot of feelings.
This is hilarious because the thing that I thought was actually going to be the hardest is saved for next episode.
Yeah, I know, which is like, oh God.
No, God.
Oh God. Like, they haven't even gotten to the hard part yet. Right? Yeah.
I get that the idea... Okay, so let's go with what they were intending for here.
Yeah.
Omashu is in the story the only actual fortified Earth Kingdom city outside of Ba Sing Se.
Right.
So it being a trade center means that you would have the opportunity to show a lot of main characters that are in the more side episode kind of plot.
Yeah, in a conceptual standpoint, having the Mechanist be here, having Jet be here,
also love it. Yeah,
right. Like, you know, a lot of things where I'm like, yes, this could totally work. And given that they're introducing so many characters, I get that they're like, hey, we're gonna go for a multi-episode thing. Having Zuko get roped into it with Iroh, yes, love it. Right. And the whole stuff with Azula and then Zhao and everything to set that up. Great.
Sure, it's mostly just for them to showcase these are characters that exist.
Yeah.
And they'll be important moving forward. But
But
they
then
didn't
also
spend too much time with them, which I liked.
But then also with the Ozai thing of burning the freedom fighters, you know, right? That's to set up the tone of, hey, we're going to have Jet. Like, you know, when Jet gets brought up and it's the Fire Nation kills people, I'll do whatever it takes.
I mean, we'd already seen that, though.
We'd already seen it, but that makes it extra relevant given that they kind of backtracked off that in the previous episode. So,
again,
cool.
that's the thing. The Fire Nation was the ones that didn't get killed. It was not...
Well, no, nobody got killed,
Fire
Nation or otherwise, right? So,
yeah.
A lot of things that I'm like, all right, cool, I like the idea of this, right? But then we get, like, a lot of exposition...
Well, no, it's just we just don't get dialogue. We just get people talking about these are the things you should know about these people.
Right. And
we're going to repeat their arguments of these kind of talking points. So we don't actually get introduced to Sai and Teo as people.
Right.
We're in some ways rushing things so quickly to get you up to speed with what they're about so that we can get to the plot twist of, oh, could they be involved in the whole thing here?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, it's so clunky. So if you're gonna introduce all these characters, actually give them time to show who they are rather than just telling who they are.
Right.
And if you don't have time to do that, then don't introduce these characters. The Mechanist doesn't need to be in this story the way they've even set it up.
Right, they could absolutely have just had it be something where that's...
Well, just Jet.
Well, yes, right, but like, if you want to have like a reason for why the Fire Nation ends up getting all this stuff, you could just have that be like a random side thing where it's like, yeah, we know that they have... like this technology, and it's just that
it doesn't work. See, again, it doesn't work. No, because the Mechanist thing was about him being in one of the air temples, so him ceding stuff to the Fire Nation in Omashu makes no fucking sense. So it had to be a twist of, but it actually wasn't that he was doing this. He thinks he's doing it in some ways for that because he's, you know, got some deal with the firebenders that left him alive in the village back then so that he can feed information to them. But that was actually Jet's crew that was continually figuring out that there was Fire Nation people that they've already killed.
Right.
And thus then they continue this whole charade with Psy so that he continues to showcase that he is a traitor to, you know, the Earth Kingdom. So then they then go to showcase that there are traitors in our midst by having a potential assassination attempt on King Boomy. Oh my God! The stuff that was given as the exposition stuff makes the episode clunky.
Yes.
The plot decisions as to why the story went this way are convoluted for no good reason. Like it's
bad.
Painful.
And the thing is that there's a lot of like the bit where Jet gave his like he had his bit with Katara. In a vacuum, I actually liked that.
I did too.
I think that it still has the issue of like, oh hey, like because the dialogue's clunky, it generally tends to work when you have the characters themselves be socially awkward, and that's where it works best. May, the way Suki was in the previous episode, things like that. And then when you don't have that, then it's just like, oh no, there isn't a reason for this to feel awkward, right? And so it just feels awkward, you know. Yeah. But him being like, hey, I'm actually going to connect with you, Katara. Katara, while she has brought up her past before, it is something that is like she hasn't fully resolved or dealt with because it's a traumatizing thing. And so then to meet somebody who is able to connect with her on that helps her with the waterbending, things like that. I like that. That makes Jet relevant, not just in the, hey, we're going to have a fun bit of plot conflict and stuff, but it's like, no, here's an actual character thing here. But then as far as me thinking about the ways in which the characters that have been introduced in this part 1 are actually going to be capitulated in the next episode, I don't see it happening because Boomy hasn't even, like, he's been vaguely introduced, but like, as far as, you know,
anything, it's a different plot. It's a different story.
Yeah, it's an entirely different story.
So that's that. We have ourselves a nice little jaunt through Omashu with kind of the, here's some reminders. Here's some things about the animated series. So it feels like they're trying to kind of wink at the audience and go, hey, this is an area that you'll care about if you are, you know, a fan of the animated series, with even the cabbage merchant being here.
Yeah.
But having Omashu then be the, we're here to meet the Mechanist so that the Mechanist can set up, I guess, the emotional through line of, I'm doing all this for you, Teo, but
we don't even know them enough in order to have that kind of emotional connection.
Nope.
Like, it's something where...
We rushed through it in some way so quickly, and then the time we did spend with them was all spent on expositing to the dad.
It feels so, like, inherently contradictory in the logic of it, because they're like, okay, we're going to change some things, creative decisions based on different medium and things like that. Okay,
that's a different plot.
Yeah, it's a different plot. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to then add all of these winks to the audience for the way that the show was in the original, but those things don't fit with the tone of what we're changing things to, and so we end up spending time on things that aren't actually relevant to the story that we're currently telling, and in fact actively undermine it sometimes.
Like which ones?
Just the fact that we're going to then have all of these like more kind of goofy elements. We're going to bring in these characters that we don't actually know, but it's like, oh, I recognize that person because I've seen the original show, but we're not actually going to spend the time to make you emotionally invested in them.
Or care about them.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be changing the way in which they're handled because the plot and all that stuff is different. So it's like this weird lose-lose situation where it's like, okay, just don't do it at all then, because you're not actually like...
You're not actually committing.
You're not actually committing.
Yep.
And that's the changes that this show makes in concept, in theory, I'm fine with. I just wish that they would fully commit to it.
Yep.
And they're not.
They're not.
But they're committing to still making the changes.
Yep.
You know, right? Like, and that's frustrating.
So let's go through this episode and the things we did like, because I think Azula being brought into the story here is okay, nice. You can do that. It's not a big deal, really.
No.
In a lot of ways, I would say the idea to have her also competing with Zuko is a really Oh,
yeah, the line from
line.
Ozai, I liked that.
Well, let me talk here. The idea that Azula is competing with Zuko, when in the show she has no competition with Zuko.
Nope.
That is not actually a part of her story. If anything, the line "You'll never catch up" is pointed so early on in the story that it's that Azula won the competition a long time ago.
Right.
You know, she's a true prodigy, just like her father, or her grandfather,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
named for.
Uh-huh.
There's no concept that Azula ever has anything that is missing something that Zuko doesn't. So the idea to then have him, to Ozai to manipulate the situation to basically keep her on her toes, I like it because it's he doesn't believe this at all.
Yeah, no, he's being a manipulator.
He's being a manipulator. In some ways, he's being the better Azula that we had in the story because now he's actually present.
Yeah.
This is the benefit that you get by having Ozai actually in the story. However, it is a change, I would say, a little bit, for the way in which Azula is being presented in the story. Now, I think you can showcase Azula being terrifying and being, a manipulator and all this stuff without the nuance immediately. But it in some ways makes me go, oh, so is the point that they're doing this for is to set up the way in which Azula's breakdown actually was more clearly because of
ever
the
since the beginning you could see the signs.
The manipulation and the dominant abuse basically that she suffered through Ozai's basically tutelage.
Right.
She was honed into this weapon for him that he could use and then dispose when he no longer needed her.
And I will say,
I like that.
I like that, and that gives additional spice to the moments when Zuko's like, no, father wouldn't agree to this. These are underhanded tactics, right? He's having all of these issues when with the Ozai that we see in the beginning, we're like, okay, clearly that's not the case, right? Even if you haven't seen the original show.
Yeah. Oh,
and Iroh's like, well,
Ozai wouldn't settle. He would do anything.
Exactly.
We know Ozai, yes.
Right. These people were about to say something that he just didn't particularly appreciate, and so he melts them, right? So that's a fun way to further develop the schism of how not seeing things for the way they are Zuko is right now.
Right.
So I like that, and that gives additional connection for him and Azula. Great. Yeah.
Okay, so then continuing with things that also I think were kind of good this episode. I really think that the way in which Zuko, Zhao, Iroh end up kind of playing this whole thing to get into Omashu.
I like it.
Pretty good, but I'm curious. I'm more curious about okay, if we follow up with the idea that Iroh and Zuko being separated will lead to a fun moment where Zuko will stick up for Iroh and do a cool
or when
thing
he
here.
rescues him from the Earth Kingdom troops.
Right. That's that whole thing that happened during the winter solstice and stuff.
Yeah.
In the show, we're gonna do that here. Cool. But this segues actually really nicely into something I was really confused by, is that so if they don't have actual Fire Nation spies in Omashu, because those are actually Jet's people setting it up.
I think there are actual Fire Nation spies. And so Jet and the Freedom Fighters are actually attacking a real threat. It's just the...
But then why go and blow up King of Omashu?
I think it's because this is...
this is set up for Boomies.
This is set up for Boomies.
Policies and the way that
exactly.
he hasn't engaged in
It's
the war
something
and
that,
stuff.
from the standpoint of people who have seen the original show, it doesn't make sense and could be confusing and detrimental to enjoyment of the episode, right?
Sure, okay.
For people who haven't seen it, I don't think it's as much of an issue because they don't know Boomy. And then when we find out, we get to know Boomy and the fact that he's kooky and crazy and that he has that whole, no, I just do nothing, right? That is absolutely something that then, from the outside,
Jet
it would infuriate Jet and they'd be like, no, that's corruption, he's complicit, he's a part of this, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas Boomy's just like, no, the things they're doing aren't that big of a deal. I want to wait and see what happens, right?
Right, but again, it feels it feels like they're more just stacking more weight on top of these crazy scaffolds for the next episode.
Right, exactly. And like you already are going to have enough of a problem with the next episode, even without all the things that you've set up here. So why make it more difficult for yourself? And in the middle of all of that, we get all of these action sequences that, hey, for the most part, I really liked. But
really,
the bit of like,
oh man, I will say the action I did not like at all this episode.
Well, okay, all right, no, actually, you're making me remember the ones that I really didn't like. So, okay, no, I liked the bit of Zuko going up against Aang, and then it's the hey, be careful with the firebending because like we're in an Earth Kingdom city right now. That might not be a good idea. Okay, cool, and that's a way to build up that Zuko has like martial prowess outside of bending to then build up for the Blue Spirit thing. All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't really buy the martial arts even either. Like,
yeah,
it's starting to be obvious here, but I want to poke at something else here. They did the whole Americanized magic system thing where it's the bending isn't about actual martial forms, but once you get is about when you get the basic stuff. But once you get into the higher stuff, it's more about controlling and flowing the energy. Oh, so we're just fuck martial forms basically.
Yeah, that did feel a bit odd.
So we do this. And then afterwards, no martial arts. Yeah, that's...
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the way they did the water whip, that also just didn't feel very satisfying. Because at the end of the day, it was still... She just flings a thing of water at something, but she just keeps it condensed so it has, like, more impact or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's how it was in the animated.
No, because in the anime, she actually whipped it. There was no whipping here.
Well, right, but
it's
that's
just
because
you pick up a thing of water.
That's animation. That's animation. You can't make water look like that in a realistic way. You can't. Like,
I think they could have tried. But
yeah, I think what I have more of an issue with is not the VFX. The VFX are great. It's we have no real good martial arts here. I would say the actual fight choreography for Zuko and Aang. Well, I'm not a martial artist. I didn't buy more than like 80%
yeah,
of it.
That was my favorite bit from the episode. As we talk about this, I'm like, I liked it more than the Jet Katara fight with the fire people.
Oh, God.
Because if you want to have the Kyoshi warriors block the fire with their fans, that works. And then the only convenience is why are all the fireballs of a uniform size that make it perfectly easy to block with the fans? But, okay, when you are like, I'm going to block it with swords,
because it's not fire, Jacob. It's a solid thing that they're hitting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right? Like that again, it's like, okay, and this is the fire that like melts people from the beginning of the episode, and like, I don't know. It's
Rule of cool.
But we got the cabbage merchant. The cabbage merchant bit with Zuko finally like, having his like Zuko alone, he loses his temper, or whatever, right? He's like, okay, he uses fire, and that's how the cabbage merchant's cabbages get roasted. And then he is true, like, this looks like a villain origin story. I love that. I love that.
I'm very worried now. It felt like we had some pretty solid, I would say, simple, consistent direction with regards to the way that the first two episodes went. This episode showed that there are either too many cooks in the kitchen or they tried to cook too many meals in the kitchen at once. And a bunch of these really don't work together.
Yeah.
I think you would have got a much more consistent, theming of like the loss and the danger that the Fire Nation possesses and stuff by honing in on maybe a couple of these stories rather than all of them. And then just in order to make us actually understand what these stories are without having already seen the original show, they had to throw in this much exposition in order to make it work.
Another thing I'm going to throw out there, so the fact that they decided to then have all the characters basically split up limits you in certain ways, because now only Katara actually has a connection to Jet. The fact that the whole gang had a connection to Jet, and then Sokka just sort of felt replaced because he's like a more badass fighter and stuff. You don't get any of that now, right? Who the fuck's Jet? Like, they don't even know his name, right? And then the fact that then Aang goes with the kid to the cave. Okay, the kid has his glider, and so that's how he kind of like... There's a cave up there that nobody else would be able to check out because nobody can get to it. So if that could be a hideout place, okay, how you get up there with, like, not without Aang, but with Aang, all right. But then also, so these people that don't have gliders or airbending, how are they getting up there? And, like, bringing supplies and, like, all, like, it just...
Oh, yeah, there's so many things that feel absolutely paper thin deep as far as like thought process being put into it.
And that's on top of the fact that we're splitting up the cast that we allegedly do care about to then hang out with a bunch of characters that we currently don't care about, and then have a bunch of wooden exposition-y, not even dialogue, so that we aren't even really able to care about them other than sort of Jet.
I would say maybe just because of how good his acting is,
and that was another example where like, oh hey, you have someone who's a bit kooky and stuff, and so then the awkwardness of the dialogue just feels like it fits the character, and also better delivery.
Better delivery, but he also actually like was able to use like his body language and the way in which he emoted and stuff to add to the show rather than don't tell side of things with his character. So, all right, that's Omashu Part 1. Oh boy, Boomy, you need to save us. Like, and I did not have confidence.
Like, we're going into this episode being like, there's no Boomy.
There's no way they're gonna.
And now it's Boomy. You're our last hope.
You're our last hope. Please at least be fucking like funny or please like
having a miss episode. That's okay. That's fine. I kind of expect that. The fact that it's like this is a miss episode, and it's the 2-parter. I'm like, ooh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
And also that means like, where does the
yeah. Well, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about animated shows in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So, yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.